All right. Speak, Sell, Shine. Cohort number 2, supplemental training, talking about Talkadot. So we'll be starting with Arel Moodie. He'll be joining us shortly. I'm Dr. Pam Perry, and I help people promote, amplify, and market their brand. PAM. That is my name and also what I do. So I help speakers, authors, and subject matter experts get out there and get known so they can get booked on superstar stages and in media places. So then we could go to whoever wants to go next. Jeff. I'm looking, so it's
Okay.
different from you. I'm looking at Jeff,
Hey,
then Gigi, then Michelle.
hello. Hey, I'm Jeff Brooks. Hey, I'm a professional photographer. I have a specialty in doing photography around public relations and branding. I'm also a big advocate for content creation, and that's me, and more to come.
There you go. And next.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Gigi Hamilton, and I practice as an organizational psychologist, licensed psychotherapist, and an author. My latest book is The Cape Escape, Redefining Your Superpowers, and I help women figure out how to get to their next best place in life. Thank you.
I love it. Next.
Am I next? I don't know who's next.
Michelle. Yep.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michelle Lance. I am a career strategist. I help ambitious women achieve their career goals, land their dream jobs without compromising who they are.
Cool. Go on next, whoever's next. Mike or Mike Wynn. Yeah, I'll meet you.
All right, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm Michael Wynn, habit success strategist, financial expert, authenticity coach, bestseller speaker, and I help business team leaders, individuals with a winning strategies by using habits and persistence. So my goal is to actually energize people for 2025, to let them know everything's going to be okay.
got the right last name.
Yes, we're going to all win.
Love it.
Dr. David, I unmuted you. Okay. And then we'll go to
each other's or
all right. We'll go to, let's see, Monique. What happened to David? There he is. He had sounded like he was playing golf. All right, Monique, you can go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Monique Pearson, mindset coach, and I assist women to elevate, expand, and explore their mindset so they may show up as their highest selves.
I love that. The triple E's. Okay. I saw Dexter come in, but then I don't see Dexter B. Jenkins in our room. Mark, you want to go?
Good evening, everyone. My name's Mark Perry, and I am a marketing specialist with 35 plus years, specializing in target marketing, particularly to African Americans. I help small businesses reach their audiences more effectively and more efficiently.
All right, Dexter.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dexter B. Jenkins. I am a faith-based financial mentor, and really my specialty is helping people move past their financial insecurities in their lives through becoming more financially intelligent and real estate wealth creation.
I love it. I love it. And Dr. Rhonda, I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Okay, there you are. And Natalie, I see Natalie too. Okay, so then after Rhonda, Natalie. And
everybody, I'm sorry. Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Rhonda M. Wood. I am an international mental health speaker, best-selling author, and I'm a media host with my own TV show called The Dr. Rhonda Show on the WBGR network. I help women to reset their value, renew their vision, and rediscover their voices. I advocate for a world where women can break their silence, find strength in their stories, and heal out loud.
I love it. I love it. And Natalie, if unmute you here.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Natalie A. Solomon. I'm a public health practitioner with over 2 decades experience. I am here to help women secure their oxygen mask first through a journey of resilience, empowerment, and self-care surrounding chronic illness and reproductive challenges.
Ooh. And I think Kevin, we didn't go, we didn't, we were talking first, but we didn't do your intro.
Hi, I'm Kevin Lightsey, and I have 4 years corporate experience through some of the most challenging pivotal moments that you can think of. And part of what I do is to help you discover how you can get through challenging pivotal moments, both personally and professionally.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love it. I think that is everyone. Just real quick, we have after Ariel, we're going to talk about book publishing next week and want to know if you all had any questions so far. I had a talk with Michelle today, and most of you all have had clarity sessions with most of you all. I see some things that you all are doing, and hopefully the conversation that we have given you more clarity. Part of getting the assets together for you is for, whether they're the articles, the covers, and I see, Gigi, you have your cover in behind you. We have the stories, the videos, the photos. Part of that is to help you see yourself differently as well. Besides me seeing it is one thing, but for you all seeing it as well. And so sometimes when I jump on the call with a lot of you all, I hear that, you want to go these different places and there's opportunities here and there, and I want to do this and that. And then I just let you go. And then I just say, okay, so where are we going with this? And then some of the things that the goal is speak, sell, shine, right? This is the whole point, this sell part in the middle here. Like, so where is the biggest check coming from? And you remember Ryan saying that, oh, he really likes talking about happiness, but his biggest check comes from when he does corporate training on sales. And that's where he gets most of his money from. So we could do the other things, but if the goal is speaking and selling and also doing the shine, you all have the shine now. You got the photos, you got this and that. So we have the shine, we got the social media rolling and moving, but the sales part is where I really want you all to focus on. And when there are things that are opportunities that are coming up, by you being focused and having that clarity, you can walk into it with confidence. So if I see Monique, what she's doing, and I told her to, I says, I love what you're doing. I said, is that moving you closer to your goal? Because when you all fill out the thought leadership packets, I looked at them and I was like, where's your goal? What is it, the main thing that you want to do? With Kevin, knowing his background and things like that, sometimes, and I can't remember which one I said this, is sometimes I can see more for you than you can see for yourself. You're running over here trying to do all these other things, but it's right in front of you what you should do. Michael Wynn has a cool last name. And one of the things, it was like Coach Wynn. I teach people to win. I was like, how simple is that? Where are we going? Who else can say that besides Michael Wynn, right? When they look at what Michelle, she rose the top in her organization in a 4th and 20. It's like, well, where are you going with that? I want to help. Okay, but what you did is what you could help someone else duplicate. Even if Dr. Teresa, I think she's over in London right now. The thing that she does is she speaks internationally as well as being a veteran. I think Monique, you're a veteran. Kevin, you're a veteran. Some of the things that are unique to you that and Esther is right. She says she can't join. She'll try and push through and come through. Esther as well. One of the things that Esther says is like, I'm a storyteller. I'm a storyteller. I said, a lot of people tell the storyteller. What are you a storyteller about? Who do you want to tell the stories for? So really helping you all dig down in those areas is where your money is, and really being the leader in that area. It's so easy to jump off into the shiny object of what's next and there's opportunity here, or someone will will recommend me for this. And if it's not in alignment, it's not your assignment. And Dr. Rhonda knows from when she was in Speak Sell Shine last year that this year, she was a lot of different places, but I just said, where do you have the most success and where is it that you're getting the most calls and the most money? And so with her, she really is making that pivot from being not just a media personality, but a person that's really helping women heal. And Healing Out Loud is part of her story. It's a way to monetize all of this. So it doesn't matter how much PR I can get for you if you don't take the conversion of those leads to something where someone will hire you. You go in and do coaching or training. The same thing I told Michelle. I said her streams of income are coaching, training, and speaking. The other parts are the assets that we have are all to gear towards that and the one message about that. Why is it, I think, sometimes that people want to feel like that they have a whole lot of different messages? If you look at, I just give an example of a brand, a big brand, Starbucks. Starbucks started out just selling coffee, right? They were really, really good at selling coffee. I trust them selling coffee. Now they can add a Danish. Now they can add a pastry. They can add a smoothie. Same thing with McDonald's. It's a hamburger, but now they can add chicken nuggets or whatever. So being good at one thing builds the trust and credibility of one thing, and then you can spread to the other. No one starts out doing everything. You know, it's hard. First of all, you don't have the bandwidth to market and the energy. If you're marketing one thing, it takes a lot of energy and effort to do that. If you're going to do 2 or 3, now you're spreading yourself too much. So I want to kind of open it up a little bit. If you have any questions for me while I try and find Ariel, where he is. But if you have any questions of me, because tonight I'm also have another session, 25 ways to PR power moves for 2025. So I'm trying to save my energy. And if Ariel is not coming, I'm like, where he just confirmed. So I've got to figure out where he is, make sure he's not. But are there any questions that you have? Because our next session is on publishing, and then our final one will be on PR and contracts with Ryan.
Oh, I just had a question. If I missed it, in regards to the pictures, you said something about our emails. That's the only thing I heard.
Jeff?
Hey, Monique, I just drafted your email. You're going to have a link in about 3 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It's coming in about 3 minutes. I'm working on it right now, actually.
Hey, Jeff, it's Michelle. Can you do the same for me, dear?
Okay, Michelle, could you put your email over in the chat for me, please?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have an announcement.
I had a quick question, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
When oftentimes, using Pitch BD and other places to look for certain training, you're saying your focus should be just on those key areas like training, coaching, if those are the things that you're looking for. But oftentimes you get driven away from, like, you can do the podcast or have those opportunities, but it only takes you so far. So what you're saying is you're still pushing towards those key areas that you're looking to make better position yourself.
Right. So so if you're using things like SpeakerHub, SpeakerHub will give you podcasts and it'll give you speaking opportunities. The podcasts are really just to more or less like lead generation for speaking opportunities. But you can go straight into SpeakerHub and get speaking opportunities and just look for that. So if you don't have the visibility and people aren't really, you don't have a digital footprint, doing podcasts is good, because if you go and try to go for the speaking opportunity without any visibility and PR and people can't really understand what you're about, then you've got to build that up. So you've got to build a brand before you can actually get some of the speaking opportunities. You could go into SpeakerHub and just go for the speaking opportunities and fill that out. But a lot of times what they're going to do is Google you and then they
Yeah.
might see something come up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to redo it because he's not. We got our package a long time ago. He's supposed to merge the two. He haven't got there yet. But some of the, I mean, I've had, and I have a decent digital print when using the two names together, Coach Win. It pulls up pretty good. But I oftentimes find like the opportunities to find paid speaking is challenging because I have a lot that went out for Black Speaker Networks, and most of them are volunteer or they just don't pay.
Right,
I get
right.
some by word of mouth through some of my government contracts. They're pretty neat. But when I between the two of them, I spent a lot of time pitching the two in the you know I do better by connecting with people that I have contracts with. So that's what I'm trying to.
So the ones that are free at this point, Michael, you
Yeah.
really don't need to do those
No,
anymore.
no, I don't.
So you're past that stage now. So you're in another phase.
Yes.
And I mean, we all get them and you can share them with other people in the group and things like that if they're just starting out. But you just said something, and that's why I really want Talk Doc to come on, because you will get most of your speaking gigs from people who have heard you or you have a relationship with. And that's really like the truth. I mean, Ryan gets, 40 to 50 speaking gigs a year, and it's not like he's pitching every single day. He's pitched um, himself to a organization that has people that then feed on the rest of the year of him hiring him to speak. So, but it's within his niche, which he does is as a niche media conference. But that's one of the main things. So when you just said the government contract area is where you're getting most of them, I would
Yeah,
focus.
even more now. And in the last 2 days, the people that are so nervous about we can't control nothing, the way the direction is going with our new president, is they're worried about the disaster before they see opportunity. And that happened in COVID too. I mean, I'm saying slow down. Think
Mm-hmm.
about where you are and make it your opportunity to go in. So I'm in education. So, I mean, I get my biggest clients from education and I'm not worried. I mean, yeah, it's going to go away, but I already know some of the things that they already talked about. Devolves taking over, situations where they're going to have the schools in Michigan, or there's opportunities to move where everything is going instead of just panic button. So I'm waiting to see. At the same time, I'm prepared ahead of time. I hope, you know. So there's a lot to be.
Right.
There's a lot.
And one of the things that education is one of the things that's being threatened from the current administration, but that's also an opportunity for you to speak about that. And we've had
Yes.
Esther really have Stephen Boyd, who was part of the last cohort, and then also Tiana Myers
I
on.
saw that.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that newsjacking is really a part of that, where you see what's going on in the news, and that's an opportunity for you to speak. And then people will want to hire you to speak, train, consult, coach, all of those things, because I don't want you all to be so, what's the word? Overly concerned about your assets. The assets are
Right.
the cherry. The foundation is your thought leadership and the content that you create. When I say content, meaning the books, the messaging that you're putting out there, the press releases, pitching yourself to be on different podcasts so that people can hear you because you have things to say. And the
Yeah.
more people hear you, the more they are going to want to hire you.
Yeah, Esther's in a unique situation. I audit special ed for 10 years. So I know her concerns and she's speaking to a mass of people, including parents and advocates. Yes, it's a big deal because I see the money and I know that, that the money is well deserved. And it's a lot of money that goes there because we had to audit the dollars for here for special ed 10 years. So I think her podcast or her show's next Monday or whatever. But I did
Mhm.
see it on LinkedIn and I'm gonna be a part. I'm gonna join it just because I know there's a lot there.
Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Mark, can you take over for a minute? I'm going to call Ariel right now to see where he is, but I'm also looking to make sure that I'm not missing him, but I'm going to come off camera for a second. Okay.
All right. Well, take over means I just get a chance to point to people and they get a chance to talk a little bit. Is there anybody else that Mike was just kind of addressing some of the things that's going on in the marketplace, and Pam's that last comment about newsjacking was really important because there are going to be opportunities that arise of this change in direction that we're seeing this coming down from the nation. Whether it's education, whether it's the healthcare, because that's like sounds like that's going to be some things that's going to really be jumping off there as well as some other organizations. So just keep your eyes peeled and be ready to jump in the gear. Is there any other questions anybody else had, or any statements they wanted to make? Has everybody seen everybody's video?
I went through quite a few of them, and they're real nice. I have to say, when I become parts of cohorts, I always say we have the best cohort. I'm already claiming cohort number 2. We are the best. We don't know what one did, but we already claiming we
Right,
are
there
the
you go.
best.
Well, we're gonna be sending everybody out a questionnaire between now and tomorrow, I think.
I
And
know Rhonda might be disagreeing, but we're gonna put it out there, Miss Rhonda.
but please
Dr.
take the
Rhonda.
time to complete the questionnaire and return it. It's not that long, but it'll give us some good information so we can be ready for cohort number 3 when we do this again next year. We are definitely planning to be back in DC. It looks like it's going to be the home for a while for us. And we really enjoyed working over at the Howard Theater. That seemed to work well for us. It's really just a beautiful place. And hopefully you guys got a chance to enjoy it and appreciated it as well. Anything else?
Yeah, I
Man,
thought it
our
was
day was
amazing.
go ahead.
Sorry, I should put my hand up.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say to Mr. Perry, I thought it was amazing. The facility, it just rooted me. It really inspired me and rooted me. And Jeff, you did an amazing job trying to get us to, smile with the big cone around us. So it was great. But most importantly, it's what I learned and, the depth of what I've learned and the things, the nuggets that I took away that I can apply to what I do for my business. So I appreciate y'all. And it was an amazing journey. And it was fast. It was intense, but it was worth it.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of time. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to chime in and say, yeah, Howard Theater is a marvelous. You couldn't ask for a far greater place to host Speak Sell Shine in Washington D.C. I think it marks an excellent place for you all to really shine and to position yourself of being able to speak on that stage. Because of the notoriety and historical aspect of that stage. I've been a photographer in the D.C. for over 25 years. I've shot, I don't know, probably about 20 assignments there at the Howard Theater. The last assignment that I did was B.B. King the year before he died. So, some history assignments that I've shot there over the years.
Well, I couldn't believe when I first went down the steps that the first day that we were there, how fast you had actually created your studio downstairs.
Yeah.
At the foot of the steps. That
I'll
was
tell
pretty
you,
remarkable.
it went well to a certain extent because of some planning that I did the day before. But we definitely had some limitations. The first day was so fast. I can go back now and say, oh my goodness, I wish I could have a redo because I would have been able to work through some of the problems that we had with where we were set up to do it, because I know now how I would do it the next year to be far better than this year. But it was some issues that we had, some technical issues we had because of the space that we were in. But we'll fix that. We have that resolved now because, we kind of figure out what we would do now for the next time.
All right. Anybody have any speaking engagements coming up right now that you want to share? No?
I don't have any necessarily speaking engagements per se, but I've been leveraging my platform and integrating it into my workspace, where I've created a speaker series at my job for the women that I work with, and we have different topics each month, but we've kind of parlayed it into check-in situation, doing some presentations on post-election stress, some other, just creating some other opportunities that we're going to create spaces for other people, for other women to have learning about public speaking in the workplace. So I've been able to kind of craft that position and platform to speak a little bit more to a captive audience, if you will, with about 50 to about 80 women every other week at work within the employee resource group. So like yesterday, we had a check-in post-election. The week before, I did a whole presentation, and there's some dialogue and working on building a newsletter and getting other ladies involved to speak on their healthcare concerns, just as being a public health provider or social worker or whatever that position it may be within the agency. So it's kind of developing into its own cohort for myself for a federal group of women versus what I'm going to do outside for civilian women. So this is kind of giving me some insight on how to craft those conversations and just seeking. Because at times I'm like, do you guys want to talk about anything? They're like, no, we just want to hear you speak. So it's kind of worked out where I kind of get to practice in that regard and present and facilitate some difficult conversations post-election within the workplace. So
Awesome.
it's kind of worked out that way for me.
Before I turn this back over to Pam, I'd just like to say that I've been sitting in I sat in on this other organization's webinar for the past couple of days. They had up to like 400 people on this Zoom call. And let me tell you something. The stuff they were teaching there doesn't even touch close to what Pam is doing with you guys. She's just in another league, y'all. Now, I know she's my wife and everything, but just trying to be fair, she's thebomb.com for real. And I know how hard she works in preparing for this, and the information that she shares is phenomenal. So she's our secret sauce in this whole Speak, Sell, Shine. All right, back to you, Dr. Pam.
So Ariel apologized. He said he's on his way shortly. So I don't know how shortly is shortly. But thank you, Mark. One of the things that I had Mark jump on that webinar that he did was because I am always in a mode of seeking and observing and seeing what's going on in the market. The same thing that you all should do with whatever area that you're in. You should know who the gurus are, who are the other people who are doing what you're doing, seeing what's similar, and then seeing how you're different. Because I think that helps you market better and have language. And so one of the things that he just registered. Oh my goodness. One of the things, there's Ariel. One of the things that, hey Ariel, very good, thank you. One of the things that even if you are a youth speaker, as what Ariel was, you want to know who are the other youth speakers. If you're a women wellness speaker, who are the other women wellness speakers? What is similar? What is different? Thank you, Ariel. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Because listen, they have me twice tonight. Some of them have me twice tonight. They have me from 7 to 8, this part, and then also from 9 to 10 as well. So some of them are going to be troopers. And I was like, now, do I want to let them go early? But I was like, Ariel, we set this up months ago. I was like, we got to have you.
I wish I had a good reason. I wish I could come on here and be like, yo, this cat was stuck in a tree and I saved its life. And that, like, I wish I had, my phone died and I was with my son's karate class. And if my phone don't buzz, I don't do nothing. I was like, oh, it's been so quiet. It's so lovely. It's 100% my fault. I'm going to make it up to y'all. I swear on everything I love. We're going to make this so good. You're going to forget how terrible the first 30 minutes feels, because I feel terrible right now. So we're going to make it up, y'all.
You'll make it up. I appreciate you. I've been talking about you for the entire time, and
it's 100% my fault.
He has got to come. So I'm gonna allow you to share.
You've been doing it. You've been doing the wonderful thing. You've been doing a wonderful thing where you fill in space. You're like, oh, and then we're gonna. I didn't prepare nothing because the road was supposed to go. But you know what? We're professional speakers. Luckily, Pam, she could fill the bill. So I am so sorry, girl.
That is. I was telling them a little bit how you got your start as a youth speaker, and give them a little bit about how that pivot started, and then how you got into Talkadot, and then really explain how Talkadot is a game changer, because it's a money maker if they
Yeah.
use it right. And that's the part where I really want them. They have the assets, Ariel, they have the photos, they have the video, they even have like some articles and things like that. They're getting the shine. They know how to speak. The sales part is really like that part where I'm trying to fill in that hole for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll tell you my quick personal story, and then we can really get into some kind of like private knowledge is what I like to call it. Like, how do you actually get the ball rolling that people don't talk about? So we're going to talk about that stuff today. So I got started in the youth space. The motivation behind it was I saw a speaker who, inspired me like many of us do. A guy named Victor Antonio. I don't know if anyone knows Victor Antonio. But I saw him when I was in college and or just had graduated college, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So what I needed to figure out was like, what's the playbook to get booked to speak at colleges? That was like the only thing that I cared about. And what I eventually found out is that the playbook that I use to get booked in colleges is the playbook that I use to get booked in corporations. It's the same playbook that I use over and over and over. I generally think it's the most effective playbook ever for getting paid speaking engagements. You just got to do it. So what I did, here's the basic premise of it. Okay. So if anyone wants to know, I'm gonna show you what I did in the youth space, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I did in the corporate space, and in the government space. So I've worked in government in terms of getting booked like Department of Education, Department of Labor. I've worked in the youth space, high schools, colleges, middle schools, and in the corporate space. So this is the playbook. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. If anyone has any questions, let me know, and then I'll talk about why Talk It Out was created for this particular playbook. Goal number one is to find out who are the associations that my clients are a part of. So in the college market, it was like finding out this answer is the hardest part. That's the hardest part because no one wants to tell you, right? So for colleges, there's a couple of players. The first one is APCA, the Association for Promotion of Campus Activities. NODA, National Orientation Directors Association. They've since changed their names. It's like Associate Director Transfer, whatever, but it's NODA, nodaweb.org, APCA, NACA, NACA, right? National Association of Campus Activities. Those were the big players in the college market. So to work with APCA and NACA, you do what's called pay to play. The way it works for APCA and NACA is you pay, I think it's like, I don't know, $2,000-$3,000, something in that range. Maybe they've changed their rates since I've done it. And you get a 15-minute slot in front of college bookers. So what APCA does and NACA does is they take talent like you and I, put us in front of colleges that are booking speakers, want to book speakers, have a budget to book speakers, and then you present what you do. You give like a hot 15 minutes, like a showcase is what they call it. And then literally the colleges will book you right then and there. So that was like the big unlock for me. So I was doing a bunch of like local stuff and like, speaking at friends luncheons and stuff, but the associations is where it happened. And NODA is the other one that I don't think Pam put in the chat yet. N is in Nancy, ODA, and they're nodaweb.org. They do orientation. So I discovered this on accident because someone I knew who saw me speak said, you should come speak at our NODA conference. And I had spoken for free. And that's how I kind of discovered it. And then I just like went down that rabbit hole. NODA is, you don't have to pay to play with NODA. You can keynote. They have 9 regional conferences all over the country, in Canada. So technically like 2 countries. But with NODA, you keynote or you do a workshop in front of orientation folks for colleges. And then those people, if they like you, book you to speak at their orientation. I literally still have a client to this day that's booked me 15 years in a row. It's just every August, that's where I go. They're my people. I love them. And what I love about orientation, uh, you could do the same presentation every single time because it's orientation. If y'all know anything about college, it's new freshmen every single year. So I've been doing, not exactly the same, but pretty similar presentation the same time. So this is kind of the playbook here. Okay. You find the association of your clients. You figure out how to speak at the conference. The way that you typically start out speaking at the conference is if it's like APCA or NACA, it's pay to play. Um, in the government space, so I work with Department of Education, Department of Labor. They have a group called NCEP for Department of Education, NCCEP. They are affiliated with what's called the Gear Up program. Gear Up is the Gaining Early Access and Readiness to Undergraduate Programs. They get a whole bunch of money since like 1980 or whatever it might be for like 30, 40 years. They've been getting money from the Department of Education to help first generation youth. What's wonderful about them is they get $5, $10 million, 20, 30, $40 million a year, and they have to spend it because it's the way, if you know anything the way Department of Education works, they get money, and if they don't spend it, they got to give it back. So they have to spend that money. So once I learned that existed, I wanted to speak to inner city youth. I'm from the projects in Brooklyn, New York. What I love about Gear Up, if you have this passion for youth, especially inner city first generation youth, and I was just actually speaking, I had a speaking engagement today, is you get to go into the hood, you get to go into like the inner city and speak to the people who need it, but the people who are bringing you in have a budget, and it's not from the school. It's not from the school. So that's why it's such a wonderful thing, because you get to help the people who need it. You get to help people who need to spend the budget, and they have a good budget to use. And it's a proven program. It's been extremely successful. So that's why I love like them. For Department of Labor, it was the National Association of Workforce Boards, NAWB. They have NAWB, the Forum is their conference, NAWDP, National Association of Workforce Development Professionals. They have an annual conference, NAWDP. And then the biggest state that I've worked with the workforce development is CWA, the California Workforce Association. So they all have conferences. And again, you just do a call for proposals. When the call for proposals come out, you fulfill it. And usually you start with like a workshop, and then you try to work up to the keynote stage. But honestly, I could do a workshop at any of those conferences, get 40 to 50 people into my workshop. I'm leaving with business. You put me on the main stage with 500 to 600 of them, forget it. It's like I'm filling my whole calendar. It's what's going to happen. At least that's my mindset and how I go into it. There's obviously a lot of skill set we could talk about. With corporations, I'm going fast because I'm trying to make up for lost time here, Perry. So I'm gonna just keep going down the line. Hopefully this is helpful. Okay. So for corporations, you want to look at the ASAE network, the American Society of Association Executives. They got state chapters every single conference. Florida Society of Association Executives, Michigan Society of Association Executives.
When you come to Michigan, let me know. Remember, I told you. Okay.
Yeah, 100%, right? So you speak at them. So these associations, the ASAE is an association for associations, which is very meta. But basically, all of the members of the ASAE, all their members are associations. So you'll speak at an ASAE, like an FSAE or MSAE, the Michigan Society of Association Executives, and the people there will see you and go, oh my gosh, this person was awesome. They need to come speak at our annual conference. So as an example, I spoke at the Georgia Society of Association Executives. In that room was the Retail Gift Card Association.
What?
The retail gift card, there's so many associations. You could just spend your whole life doing associations and you'll find the most obscure associations in the world, right? So the Retail Gift Card Association is a member of the Georgia Society of Association Executives. I speak there. They see me. They bring me in to speak. And now, who are the members of the Retail Gift Card Associations? McDonald's, Subway, Nike, Wendy's, the companies that make a bunch of money selling gift cards. So now I spoke in front of all of those folks, and now these are the people in the pipeline. So this is the pathway of you start with an association and you find out what your niche is. The hardest thing is like discovering what's the right association, what's one's going to waste your time, what's not. And when I say waste your time, meaning it's not a good fit. Your message is not a market fit for them. So that's the part that takes, but hopefully what I just gave y'all in 15 minutes was about 15 years of doing it wrong that you ain't got to do yourself. So I'm going to pause there because I did just say a whole bunch, and I'm happy to backtrack, help clarify anything that was
that's
quick.
good. That was really good, because making the money with the associations, I know the American Society of Association Executives is a really good one to start with. And there's association executives, and every association runs on really getting those conferences and getting people excited and that sort of thing. The main thing that I just hear Ariel talk about, and I think someone said they met you at Jonathan Sprinkle's conference. It was Michael Wynn. He met us.
Oh, that's dope. Michael, what's up? Yeah, I'm looking in the chat right now and I see that. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And as that, you have to be good. So we had Lynetta Houston a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago talking about speaking and timing and all that kind. You've got to be good. You got to command the stage, and you have to know how to network and making sure when Ariel said that he spoke at one, he did a workshop, he said, and it filled his calendar for the whole year. So you have to be good. You have to know how to network. You have to capture those leads and then know how to nurture those leads. That is a part that I think most people, Ariel, that's why I want you to talk, don't know how to do. And
Correct.
that part is really they have a hole in the pocket, basically, because they can
Yeah.
go and speak and do a great job, but then people who heard them, they can't get in touch with them anymore. I know Dr. Gigi told me about an example of how people were lined up to hear her after she get a great presentation, but she couldn't get to everyone. Or someone said they wanted to work with her, but some people were a little bit hesitant about giving her that person's contact when she actually was speaking for the person that brought her in. It's that kind of thing. So anyway, that's why I wanted you to really talk.
No, I'm glad you're bringing it up because this is really important. Just so I have a sense of the room here. So I know Dr. Walker and Michael, apparently we go way back, which is really, really nice. Um, uh, has anyone here not spoken yet? Has everyone spoken a little bit? I just want to make sure I get it because I want to give an example.
Yeah, everybody has reels. Everybody has all of their assets. They've got some press. They have
working with you. They're working with you, Pam.
They have clarity. That's the part we're working on right now. It's clarity.
Perfect. All right. So this is why this is so important. Okay. I've spoken for the last 18 years, right? So I've been full time at this. I love it. It's my passion. I love the industry. I love everything about it. These are the blockers that will show up and will stop you from actually getting business. So you have to be aware of what the blockers are. Blocker number one, you do a really, really good job. And like Dr. Gigi, you get this long line. Let me ask you this. Do you think a CEO who could book you to speak is about to wait in a line for 45 minutes like a fanboy to go get your card? You think they're gonna? No, they're gonna go, this is what happens. They go, that line's too long. I'll catch her later. I'll catch him later. But you know what later is? It don't happen because what do you think? They're not going to get a text, they're not going to get an email, and they're not going to get distracted and move off. And then here's what happens, right? So Jeff Brooks is the keynote speaker. Jeff Brooks does a wonderful job. I go, I want to get Jeff. Oh, there's a big line. Of course, there's a big line. All right, I'm not. I'll hit him later. Later comes. What was that speaker's name? Was it Mel Brooks? What's the?
Right.
I can't remember. I need a
Can't
leadership
remember.
speaker. Go get me a leadership speaker. And I wanted Jeff, and I would 100%, but now Jeff don't know I exist. I don't remember Jeff's name. And if any of you think people in the audience memorize your name, memorize your website, earmark it, bookmark it, it's not how any of them flow. Not how any of them flow. Okay. So if you're actually good and you get a big line, that's a blocker. Here's another blocker. You do a keynote and there's workshops right after you. Instead of people coming up to you, they all got to dismiss to the workshops. And again, I'll do it later. Or you keynote and there's a keynote speaker right after you. Nobody can get up out of their seats and talk to you because they can't be disrespectful and come out of their seats. So there's all of these blockers that show up at events. Now, here's the other blocker, which nobody really talks about this, and I think it's very important, which is timing. It's timing. So let's say I'm in the audience, okay, and I see Natalie Salomon speak, and she does a wonderful job. And I book speakers, and I want to book Natalie, but it's November. My event is in September, and you know what? I'm not even thinking about the logistics of that event until March. What do you think? Like, I think speakers unfortunately think that your potential clients are just sitting there waiting for you to send this magical email with this magical subject line that's going to make me stop what I'm doing and book you to speak. And now all my problems. No, I'm running a business in the same way all of y'all are running a business. I'm a busy person. So timing is a blocker because even though I see you and I want to book you, if I can't engage you right now in this moment, I'm not gonna. It's like I might want to buy a car at some point, but I'm not buying a car right now. So even if you got the car that I want, I'm not showing up to your dealership. It don't matter. The timing's not right. So you've got to know who it is so you can have the timing. And then the other blocker that so timing is a blocker. And then the other blocker that people don't realize is it is almost never that one singular person is the decision maker for a speaker. It's almost always a committee. Now, there are some rare occasions that, like, the CEO will go, oh my gosh, I need Michelle Lance, and there's no one else that's going to fit the bill except Michelle. And I go hire Michelle. That could happen, but that's the exception. It's kind of like, have you ever heard that, like, people have been hit in the head who had amnesia and then they get their memory back? I've never seen a doctor prescribe a baseball bat to the head. Even though it happens, it's the exception, it's not the rule. So 99% of the time, there's a committee. There's a small group of people whose job is to select a speaker. So let's say, Natalie is the speaker I love. So I'm the champion for Natalie. The blocker is I need to make it easy for me, the champion, to go to the committee and convince them that are all of the speakers that we could consider, Natalie is the one we need to pay for, especially if Natalie is not the cheapest, especially if Natalie is not known by everybody else in the committee. You've got to make it easy for me. So one of the blockers is how do you actually make your you got to remember this part. It's very rare a decision maker is singular. You have champions who are part of committees. So you've got to do everything in your power to eliminate all of those blockers. So when you give a speaking engagement, you've got to ask yourself, how do I remove all of those blockers? That's why Talk It Out was created, because this is what I used to do. I don't know if anyone's ever done this before. So I'm going to give this in the chat. Do me a favor. If anyone's ever done this, let me know because you will feel my pain. I used to say stuff like this. Oh, please drop your business cards in the back if you'd like to stay in touch with me. And then you'd have like a punch bowl or something in the back of the room, or you would stand at a door and people would hand you your card. Now, here's why this is a terrible solution. Okay, so Jeff knows what that is. Michael knows what that is. Now, here's what Jeff knows and what Michael knows. You ever come back from an event with a stack of cards? What you got to do with those stack of cards? What you got to do with those stack of cards? You got to digitize them. So you got to sit down and hand type all them names, all them email addresses, or you scan them. And you know why scanning sucks, Jeff? Because you've done this before. The scan's not accurate. So even though you scan them, you got to manually go through each scan. And then you're like, I might as well have just handwritten this my damn self. Because the scan is never going to be perfect because everyone's business cards are not templated. They have all these different design elements and the scans never read them perfectly. So what happens is you go to an event, people are super excited about you, but if you collect business cards, you may not reach out to them until a week or two later, and they're not as interested because the excitement has worn off. Now, on the other side of it, people might pass out paper forms. Has anyone ever passed out a paper form? Okay, so Dr. Gigi knows about the paper form. Now, here's why the paper forms are worse than business cards. Dr. Gigi, tell me about people's handwriting.
You can't read them.
Really bad. Really bad, yes.
Really? And is that an L or is that a 1? Is that an I? Is that an R? Is that a capital T? So now if one letter is off, you can't send an email. That phone number is off. Do you really want to randomly call something? So what happens with the paper forms is, again, you get them and they're so exciting, but it's a mess. And then who's going to do it? Are you going to do it? Is that the best use of your time? Or are you going to give it to a VA? So now you give it to the VA, how much you pay the VA per hour, it's going to still take them 1 to 2 weeks because they're doing all the other stuff. It's a terrible. And then here's the other thing that nobody knows. Hopefully no one ever does forms again, right? But here's the other thing about forms. Dr. Hamilton, do you remember sitting down and having to pass out all the forms to people? So it takes 5 to 10 minutes to pass it out. Then you collect it. What's the collection process like? Please put your paper in the air when you're ready. Pass it down to the center aisle. And it takes 15 minutes to do that, right? So the collection process, and then you put the form down, and then you the timing's terrible, right? Do you put it at the beginning and then people have it and they're flipping around the paper and you're like, no, don't do it yet. Wait until you see the whole thing. And then some people don't have pens and then some people don't have, and then like, do you have a pen? So it's terrible, but it's what only used to exist for me, right? So what I realized is let's eliminate all the blockers so that I can make it easy for my champions to book me and I can make it easy for the people who want to book me to do so. And that's kind of where the premise of Talkabout came about. So Pam, does it benefit if I do a quick showing of how we solve these problems? Like, should I share my screen?
Yeah,
Is that
I
helpful?
made it so you could share.
Okay, great. All right, I just wanted to. All right, so let me pull this up. So I'm gonna share my screen. So I want you to see what this would look like in real life. So I gave a presentation. This is a slide, a Talkabout slide. We create this slide within our system. All you gotta do is throw it into your presentation deck. If you don't use slides, you can either just have one slide and pull this up at the end. You could print this QR code out on a piece of paper. If you do like worksheets, you can, write this URL down. It's like real simple, real easy, right? All I do at the end of my presentation is I ask my audience for their feedback. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I'm not just asking for feedback though. As a thank you to the audience for giving me their feedback, I'm going to now give them something of value. People might call it a lead magnet, PDF, video, spreadsheet. I typically like to either give people a summary of what I just talked about, or I like to give them a next step to take because they heard my presentation. Here's why I think this summary is so important. By the way, the summary is just my slide deck. It's not like I just turn my slides into a PDF. It's like I've already created the slide. Like I've already created these slides, right? So like no need to like create something new. And here's what I say at the beginning of my presentation. Like this works for me. You can use it or not use it. It's up to you. At the beginning of my presentation, I go, hey, if anyone likes to take notes, this is a really, really good place to start. But if you don't like to take notes, don't worry, I got your back. I'm going to give you access to everything we talked about here so you don't have to worry about taking notes. So what happens is that most people put their pens down or put their computer away. And if I say things that are of value to my audience, what are they saying to themselves? Oh, I wish I would have wrote that down. Oh, don't worry, he's going to give me it. Oh, he's going to give it to me. So then I go, hey, remember when I said I'd give you a copy of my slides? Here's how you get access to them. Please let me know what you thought about this. I want to know what you liked about it so I can do more of it. I want to know what you disliked about it so I can do less of it. They scan the QR code. It takes less than 2 minutes. We have a survey design that gets about a 98% completion rate. So what that means to you is 98% of the people that start finish. So a lot of surveys, people nope out, they don't want to do it and all that kind of jazz, right? Ours doesn't do that. It works, it's simple, it's easy, and I'll show it to you, but I want to show you the results of it first because that's more, I think, valuable. So they scan it, they take 2 minutes and give me their feedback, and now they get a copy of my slide deck, or they get a copy of my ebook, or they get a copy of or whatever. So they're happy because they got something of value. And if I did my job good enough, they feel like they owe you. Right? If you do your job good enough, right? So if I'm, Michael, and I give a great presentation, I feel like, oh my gosh, Michael, like you changed my life. How could I help you? Oh, I can give you feedback. I'm happy to do that if you feel like that helps you, right? So there's the law of reciprocity, which is Robert Cialdini in action there. So now they scan that, and this was a corporation that I spoke to last month, right? So immediately after they scan it, all of their data is turned into a report that looks like this. It shows you how many people responded, how many people found it valuable, how many people want to hear you speak again, and then some quantitative data. So now I can actually measure with numbers how effective my presentation was with this group. What I can do with this is a couple of things. The first thing is I can share this with the world. So I can show them the impact. I can click share and go to download report. And now I automatically got this image right here. So I can post it on social media. I can share it with my client. So now I've got data to back up. Like, look, if 100% found my talk valuable and 98% want to hear me speak again, and 98.7 said it was engaging and informative and relevant and actionable, I did a good job. It's not an opinion. This is numbers.
Data.
This is data, which most speakers, by the way, collect zero data. So they go, okay, you want me to give you $10,000? Look, what data do you have? Well, here's my data. Now I can show, like, this is the effectiveness of my program, right? So that's number one. Number two, we get testimonials for you. Who here has ever, okay, show of hands, just raise your hand. Who here has ever gotten a video testimonial from someone at the end of your presentation? Has anyone ever done that with like your phone? Okay.
Yep.
Tell me how awkward that is. Let me explain why it's awkward. They walk up to you and go, "Oh my gosh, Dr. Hamilton, you changed my life. This was the greatest presentation ever." And you go, "Could you say that one more time on camera, please?" And it feels kind of dirty, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like they're having this wonderful moment with you, but like your marketing brain can't turn off? But you're like, and then, okay, how many people have had this happen? They tell you this beautiful, amazing, life-changing thing. Then when you put them on camera, they're like, it was good. And you're like, you were just telling me how this was the best thing since sliced bread, man. Like what? Right? Because sometimes people get nervous on camera. So it's never as authentic. It's weird for you to ask. And I'll be honest with you, I've always actually disliked it. I did it because as an entrepreneur, I know I needed to, but I never really liked it. So with our feedback, we actually capture testimonials for you. So what people are saying, I can then click on this and I can turn this into an image that I can easily share. So if I have a couple of
I
things that I
love that.
particularly like, I could like, here's what people said. Oh my gosh, it would help a lot of managers get better understanding of their people and leading effectively. Like, okay, well, like I want people to know this. So not only can I share what anyone said individually, I can also click on this report and share this whole report. And it's instant. I don't have to do nothing. I'll go to Canva. I ain't got to hire nobody on Fiverr. I ain't got to try to make it look good and I make it look stupid because I'm not actually a graphic designer. It's all done for me. So what's cool about this is that I now have something for my clients so that they know that if they want to rebook me, they can. If they want to refer me, they can share this report. And if I'm reaching out to, and this is, remind me, if someone reminds me, I want to tell you my land and expand strategy because I think it's the smartest way to turn one event into two events into three events. So it's a little bit of a thing, but just I want to put a pin in it because I want to show you some more data. So now my champions, I can give them data so that when they go to the committee, they can say, hey, I want to bring Arel in. He spoke to this group like ours, this group like ours, this group like ours, and look at how consistently like he's doing a good job, right?
Wow. I love that.
And now check this out here, leads, okay? One of the questions that we ask during the feedback flow is, do you book paid speakers? If they say no, we don't ask any other lead generation questions. We just get feedback. But if they say yes, we then qualify them. Would you like to book a route? Can we get your information? Could you tell us more information about how you'd like to book a route, right? Now, here's where this gets interesting. We have an AI technology built into our tool. So I'm going to click on the booking leads right here. So this is a brand new feature that we just released. So here's what this means to you. Now, these are all of the people that expressed interest in potentially booking me to speak. But do you notice how this has a red flame on it? That's a hot booking lead. What is a hot booking lead? It was different before. So like Dr. Work, I know you know about Talkadot, and I think some other folks know about it. This is brand new. We now have an AI built into our tool that reads the sentiment of what people write about the opportunity details. And if and only if it is a real lead, we identify it as a hot lead for you. So for example, this person who works for Toyota said, hey, I have a training and human resource conference in September 2025. So now I know, because my AI is verified that this is a real lead based on the sentiment of what they wrote, that this person who works for Toyota, who saw me speak, is interested in booking me at this event. Now, my question to you is, if you had that information, how hard do you think it would be to follow up and close this eventually? They've seen me speak. I walked off stage. I know who they are. They know who I am, and I've captured their information even before I've left the stage. I know who my leads are. I know who my hot leads are, and that's important because I know who's interested and who's a hot lead. I know exactly what they're interested in booking me for. So now the only thing that matters between me and Holly is finding the right timing for us to set up the meeting. But I know she's interested September 2025. So it may not be November 2024 that conversation happens. So we reach out, We find out when's a good time, and I can ask what the reach out's for. I usually have my VA do it, but Talkadot handles all that. And then what I can do with these leads, I can download them as a CSV file. I can upload them to a CRM. I can put them into my email nurture sequence and all those other wonderful things that you can do. But with Talkadot, the audience gets a little bonus. Your client gets data. You get data. You get shareable images to promote yourself, to put on your website, and you get leads, and you've identified who are the hot leads and who aren't. And all you got to do is follow up. And by the way, if, we have a leads follow up in here for you. So we'll send at least one email on your behalf to all of your leads, driving them to a phone call with you. So for example, if someone's a booking lead, after they fill out the form, we'll say, thanks so much for attending my, would now be a good time to talk. Can you reply back to this email with some dates and times that are available?
Good.
So we could have that for you. Or if you want to do it automatically, you can integrate with Zapier, throw it into your MailChimp or, whatever, like if you use automations. I like doing things personally. I found that I tried to automate this outreach process. And I found that personal outreach is just significantly more effective. And if it's a hot lead, like, don't, take
Don't
5
wait.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reach out. So that's what Talkadot does in a nutshell. Now, there's a lot of other like little bells and whistles and things to make your life easier, but that's in a nutshell.
I love that. This is a game changer. One of the things that you said, you talked about shareable images. And what I find a lot of times is that when they say a shareable image is like maybe them speaking on the stage, someone takes a picture of them. That's different. That's different for Facebook, Instagram. But when you have a shareable image that shows real data and a real testimonial, that is hot. YB does that. Robert YB Youngblood, he does
Yes,
that.
Youngblood. That's right. And the reason why that's so important is for this reason. This is kind of like the dirty little secret about speaking. Truthfully speaking, how many of us have ever been to an event? And even though I know these are our colleagues and our brothers and sisters in the game of speaking, how many of you have ever seen a bad speaker before? Like just a terrible speaker. So I want you to imagine that terrible speaker gets a picture of them taken while they're speaking on stage. And then they post on social media, I spoke at the IMX conference. Well, you don't know if they were good or bad. You just know they spoke. But now you put a picture of yourself speaking and quantitative data and qualitative data. So now not only am I speaking, but I got the receipts to prove with numbers and with words how actually effective I am. So I want you to see just like the juxtaposition of the difference of those two. So it's a totally different game. And here's the best part. You don't have to do any of the work. All you got to do is pull the slide up. It's our job at Talkadot to maximize the feedback flow, ask the right questions, do the follow-up, figure out the best way to organize leads, come up with the technology to AI verify. We do all of that. And like a lot of people say, well, oh, like, couldn't I build my own survey? I tell people, please go ahead, do it yourself. Because there's so much that goes into it, the right length, the right design, the right questions. Okay, so you get feedback, it goes in a Google form. How many of you ever collected feedback on a Google form and you forgot about it? You never revisited it. And you said, I should, it's 4 weeks later. And you're like, I'm too busy. So, we do all of the lift and we understand how speakers work because I am one and I use this in my business that like it's constantly our goal to figure out how to make you more money. And this is the unique relationship Talkadot has with speakers. You will only pay us if we make you money. So we have a vested interest to not be a service that's like, oh, we have an Excel spreadsheet that's going to make you more, productive, or we have a Word document that's going to help you organize. Like there's a direct correlation between the work we do and the money that you make. So if you make more money, we make more money. So the more money we make you, the more happy you are with us and you stay with us. So, it's a really beautiful kind of relationship, I think, because I think most speakers, if I could be honest, and I know this might sound terrible, but I think it's true. In a perfect world, we would just speak. We would get invited, we would show up, we would get paid, and then we would spend the rest of our time doing the fun stuff. Maybe we want to research, maybe we want to write a book, maybe we want to kick it with our kids during their karate class. The business is the necessary evil so we can do the passion and the love and the business, right? But imagine a world where you can shrink all of the stuff you don't want to do so you can spend more time speaking, impacting lives. Like That's what our mission is, and that's what our goal is.
Yeah, that is exactly, Ariel. That's why I wanted you. You're towards the end of our follow-up sessions, but the Speak Sell Shine, that part what you just said. I mean, you were speaking and you showed them, the game, how to really win the game, but how to maximize it so that it's with grace and ease is really the part that Talkadot does.
That's right.
And I put my link in there for people to do it. David has a question, but it's a game changer. If you're serious, get it. Ryan uses it all the time. Ryan Dorn uses it all the time. He loves
Awesome.
it.
Shout out to you, Ryan.
Yeah. David, you have a question?
Yeah, I want to give a testimony.
Okay. Testimony time.
Y'all know I go to church, so I get testimony. Yesterday, I had a talk in Baltimore. I live in Orlando, Florida, but I saw a post to put in a proposal to come to Baltimore for the Baltimore Children's and Youth Fund. They have an annual talk, blah, 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 and they were paying $1,000. So I said to myself, well, for $1,000, I can pay for a round trip plane ticket, and then I can go to a restaurant in Baltimore and have me a lunch and a dinner. I ordered a jumbo lump crab cake with scallops and asparagus. So I said, that's worth the trip. So I'm going to take that trip and go and get a chance to speak, because I've always been told the more you speak, the more you speak. So when I get there, there's a giant crowd, 500 people. They were there from breakfast, lunch. They had 3 different sessions of workshops. But my workshop wasn't until the last session. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. And at 2:00, and each session had maybe about 10 workshops per session. Mm-hmm. But by 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm ready to do my talk, and only 5 people show up to come hear me. And I said, okay, well, now I got to do like I used to do as a pastor. Well, whoever's here, you go on and do your thing.
That's right.
So here's the real testimony. 5 people in the room. I did what I was supposed to do. I did my Talkadot. They scanned it. They gave me all the favorable reports. But when I get home and I check the Talkadot, there was one hot lead. And they want me to come and speak in December. Come back to Baltimore and speak at an event in December. And then, of course, Talkadot has a ready-made template to communicate with the hot leads. So all I did was plug her name in, her email. I shot that off today, waiting for her. And one of the things that I said in it, I understand that you're looking for me to come and speak at an event in Baltimore. And I named the event so we know exactly what we're talking about. And so I'm waiting for a response today. But the whole point I'm bringing up Talkadot is how it gives you leads right away. If I didn't have that, I might not have had that communication. She might have that one lead. Everybody once always told me that the right person is always in the room.
That's it.
The right person, and that's all you need is one lead, one opportunity, and you never know where that might go. So thank you, Arel, for talking that.
Listen, what I tell you, man, is this is why I love this so much, right? An event that, like, you get a wonderful experience, you get 5 people, but now if you get one, like, all you need is if every time you speak, you got one, you have a perpetual cycle. You've got this perpetual spin wheel that'll keep you going and keep you going. It's just getting that one, And then here's the other thing, personality-wise, right? Some people, David Walker just wowed them. They might feel intimidated to go up to him. They might feel nervous, like, oh, I don't want to seem, but I can fill out everyone could fill out a form. So making it easy for every type of personality to say yes. 5 people turns into 1. Brother, I'm excited for you, man. So keep me posted. We love hearing about these wins. It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
Cool. I love it. I love it. Well, Ariel, I think everybody, you have an offer where people can try it out. I think you said for 30 days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so Kevin's waving his hand. Did you have you just waving or you?
Yeah, no. I want to speak.
I'm from corporate America, and I hate to interject here, but it's so it's amazing when I hear something so captivating that I just want to start. I haven't even started speaking on the professional basis. I've spoken on the corporate when I was getting paid corporate money.
Yeah.
I spoke corporate. Okay. I get it. But I'm all about systems. And this, from my corporate brain, is a system that I can identify with, that I want to be a part of, that I want to make it a part of the system of what I do.
Yep.
You know, and that's honestly, when you get a good system and you replicate it, that's what success is about. So I genuinely want to thank you for all of the work that you did to get here and to bring it into my business to help me. So thank you. I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do.
And he has meetings too, because you meet once a month, Arel, with the group.
Yeah. So what we do in Target Out is we don't want you to just use our tool. We want you to be successful with it. So here's what that looks like. Every single week, I do a live video. We call them AMAs, Ask Me Anything. So every week, I jump on Zoom at a predetermined time. Any question that you have whatsoever, any question whatsoever, we will answer them. If you have a question in between that, we have an entire customer success team that will walk you through it, show you how to set up your account, give you everything you need. We've got a community. Actually, I'll show you the community because I'm so proud of
Is it on Circles?
Yeah, on Circles. Yeah. So if you go over to our community function here, you know, we've got I know Dr. Walker's in the community, so I always love that. But we've got you know, 1,500 over 1,500 speakers on our community here. And it's just you can go in here and post a question and somebody will answer it. So like I share that to say, you know, you're never alone in the journey of using this. Any best practices we have, we try to put together content to help you with speaking throughout the year that's going to be useful. So we do onboarding. So literally where most people just kind of hope to take your money and run, we're here to like hold your hand, make sure you know how to use the system, how to integrate it, how to squeeze the most juice out of it. So we genuinely care. So if you don't have Talkadot, I can say this with as much ethics as I possibly can. Please click on Pam Perry's link. Sign up for Talkadot. Get it. No credit card required. Try it out for 30 days. If you want to upgrade, just go to accounts, billings, hit upgrade. And we do cool things like, I mean, I don't even, should I show them the?
Yes, you should.
Okay. All right. So I want to show you something that we built for our community to make your lives easier in finding opportunities. I need a guinea pig. I think Kevin, you're gonna be my guinea pig. Okay.
Okay.
What's the topic that you speak on right now? How would you describe it to me?
My topic is pivot, plan, execute. How to take professional or personal problems in your life and to move, plan, and execute your way to a successful transition.
Perfect. Right. So here's what I'm going to do. So this is something that we built out, and this took a lot. This took a lot of time to build. So you're going to see kind of the kind of simplest side of this. So there's a strategy that we do. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So what I did is I took the gist of what you said, overcome personal problems in your life, professional speaker. Okay, so I just did a Google search. Now, after this Google search, this guy right here came up. Okay, Jeremy Bush. Okay, so he's doing a sponsored ad. Big Speak is a speaker agency that have people on that topic. But let's go to this guy's website here. Okay, so I'm gonna copy his website. I just want to get a sense of, okay, well, who is this guy? Ooh, there we go. We got Jeremy here. So this is a dude that speaks on a topic that he is searching that's similar to you. Okay, this sounds good. I'm going to take that. So I'm going to take his name. And how familiar are you all with ChatGPT? I don't like everyone knows with ChatGPT. Okay, so no one needs to, it's amazing. We created a way of using ChatGPT with our own personalized GPT that here's all I got to do. Watch what's going to happen. I'm just going to put his name into it. Hit go. I want you to see what's going to happen. So they're going to tell me who he is and what events he's spoken for in the past.
Wow.
Okay. So now if I'm you, Kevin, I know that the Future Fest, the New Bell Brands Conference, the Mark Anthony Conference, the American Supply, so these are all people that booked that guy and probably could book me.
There
So
you
now I'm going
go.
to say, you know, watch this. Please turn this into a downloadable, I'm going to spell that wrong. Spreadsheet. Okay. I'm going to just do this real quick just so you can see it.
Man, we live in a great time.
Right.
This
So
would have
now,
taken hours and hours to find all that information.
that's right. Right. Hold on. Oop. So sometimes ChatGPT is not perfect. Resend. I can't. You just talk to ChatGPT. Can't download. I just wanted you to see this happen. All right. There we go.
That's one of the things of knowing who your industry influencers are or the gurus are, knowing your benchmarks or the people in there, wherever. And I always tell people too, go to their media kits as well. If you want to know what media they've been on as well, what stages they've been on, but they usually put in their media kit as seen on or as heard on in
I'm just gonna
podcast.
copy it. I'm gonna make this a little easy here. Just paste it in. So give for Kevin.
Wow, thank you.
So now I'm just gonna share this. Restricted, anyone, editor, copy. That's for you, Kevin.
Thank you.
There you go.
So with this GPT, all you got to do is find the people who speak on your topic or something similar. Find where they've spoken in the past. And these are breadcrumbs too, right? So this is another way of reaching out and finding, because here's the thing. If I know these people booked him, I know they are similar, want something similar, may want to redo it, but not with the same speaker, or they may have events that similar events to these are the kinds of events that book someone like me.
It gives me someplace to aim.
That's right. That's right. So we created, so that GPT we created, we give that access to all of our Talk It Out Pro members. So if any of you sign up for Pro, we'll give you access to the link. You just put in the name, you get a list of people, and you can keep. I just created a list of 10, but you could say, so watch this, watch this. Okay, hold on, just so you can see how the thing works, because it's fun. It's fun. So now that I got it, I go, great. Watch this. This is all I have to write. Give me 10 more.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That is it. And then those organizations probably have applications or RFPs or call for speakers, and you put in your bio, you put in your one sheet, you put in your YouTube link of you speak. I mean, you ready.
That's right. Yeah.
You're ready.
So in terms of like trying to make this process, and I'm saying like, so like that GPT is something we created for our pro members because we want to make it as easy as possible for you to win. And when you take that type of access with Pam Perry support, helping you get your branding, help you get your messaging, help you get your submission game down, help you get all that down, you just got to ask yourself, are you willing to put in the work? Like if you've got everything she's given you, plus this tool, it's just a matter of, are you willing to put in the work, and are you willing to deal with the no's? That, by the way, I get no's. Everyone gets no's. When someone says no to you, don't take it so personal. I feel like a lot of speakers out there, they got this like fragile ego that the moment someone says no, they're like, I'm gonna quit and never. It's like, yo, look, no one successful gets yeses all the time, so you're not gonna be the first one. So as long as you're willing to deal with that, you got Pam support, you got tools like Talk It Out. It's just a matter of being willing to be hungry enough to do the work that other people aren't willing to do, and then just let fate, let God take over. It's gonna work.
Arel, where is that chat part in the pro?
It's in the pro resources. I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
This is good. Arel, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And I knew it would be. You guys like this? Put a 1 if you like it. Yeah. This is
one. I'm gonna scream, drop the mic. That was like brilliant on every level. Like
You
I'm
know,
the corporate mind. I'm
yeah.
like, this is game changer. I'm so yeah.
That's exactly what he called it. He said it was game changing when he created this. I mean, he stopped the speaking. He was really successful with speaking and doing all that. And he created this. Him and his partner put this together as a game changer for the industry. When Ryan used it last year, to speak and shout, he was like, this is a game changer. He has had so much success with that. And so I'm like fanning. So this is it.
David, I put the link in the chat. That's the video recording of the AI training that I did explaining the process. If anyone clicks on that link and you're not a pro user, you're gonna get a blank page. You can't see it. David can see it because he's part of the family. So if you're a pro user,
there it is.
everybody else gonna click on it. They're gonna be like, "How come I can't see it?" Join pro and you can get access to all the things.
Yeah, I have to upgrade. You ain't
Great close.
NSA.
I gotta go pro now. I mean,
That's a great close.
There's no other way to do it.
I love it. I love it. Well, Speak, Sell, Shine. This was special for you guys. You are on your way. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I had a lot around places to go, but I said I had to come. I remember the days. I was part of